All right, welcome to the Robert Show. We are here at Shift and Cloud Summit 2025. Super excited to be here with Woon and Poojan. Great talks that you all gave. I heard and I could see the excitement in the audience as well. I'm kind of curious to learn more about the different things that you all are doing in the cloud space, but not only just that, would you like to also introduce yourself and also tell us about your talk?
Yeah, okay. So, no, first of all, thank you. So, my name is Woon Jung, previously co-founder and CTO at Clumio. Now, obviously, after the acquisition, part of Commvault.
Yeah.
And at Commvault, I'm the CTO of the Cloud Native division. And I actually do a lot of the same thing. This is just in a bigger company, let's say.
Yeah.
Looking after a lot of the Clumio related stuff and
Yep.
providing data resiliency for the cloud native applications.
Exactly. Poojan?
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'm Poojan Kumar. I was the co-founder and CEO of Clumio, along with Woon for
Exactly.
the last 6-7 years, and now at Commvault, Chief Product and Innovation Officer.
Yeah.
At
Dream team,
Commvault,
you guys.
focusing on the cloud,
Yeah.
which again is the whole this thing of this conference.
Yeah.
And focusing on making sure that we can go and extend cyber resilience to the public cloud world.
That's fantastic. I'm kind of also curious to know how are data recovery approaches evolving to support serverless architectures. What have you been hearing from the enterprise leaders, but also working with big enterprises that I know of?
No, absolutely. I'll get started, and
Yeah,
then obviously
sure.
I think Woon is the brains behind this, or let him comment. But ultimately, I think if you think about how we built Clumio, it was built on the cloud for the cloud. And what I mean by that is it was always focused on building the platform in the way a true cloud native application should be built.
Right.
And so Clumio was a cloud native application itself. Turns out it was
Exactly.
focusing on protecting and providing cyber resilience for cloud native applications out there. Was built with that in mind. So that really incorporates how we use the right natives, which I'll let Woon double click on, but that included Lambdas and S3s and all of that. And
Yeah.
that allowed us to go and basically deliver, which was one of the objectives of my talk also, which is going and delivering the cyber resilience in the cloud
Very
in the way it
important.
should be done, at the right price point, at the right scale, with the right ease of use,
Yeah.
and a consumption model, and so on and so forth.
Pretty
Woon?
interesting.
Yeah, no, so one of the things that we see is that, honestly, in terms of the tech, it's nothing new. These things existed for some time already,
Yep.
but we see some of the enterprises adopting it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, it was more of the startups that were actually building things, the cloud native applications, but now we see more enterprises adopting it and re-architecting their applications.
Yeah.
Now, if the application architecture or the blueprint starts changing, technically, the solution that is actually executing, protecting it, should also change along with that.
Yeah.
So, we talk about things like scale.
Exactly.
So the primary application is scaling. You are in the cloud because you want to scale up and down very, very quickly.
So true.
And then guess what? If you're primary scaling, then the data protection solution better scale along with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the primary can scale because it is designed in a cloud native way, well, guess what? The data protection solution also has to be designed in a cloud native way, so they actually scale along with it,
Yep.
right? So it's more of a combination of using Lambda functions, S3s, and all of these different features that the cloud providers provide, embracing it, and take full advantage of it.
Yeah. I think that's a very important point, and I was going to get on that because I heard that from your talk as well about scaling, which is kind of very important. And when it comes to enterprises, the data that they're working on is huge, right? Talking about data as well, I'm kind of curious about how these organizations, classify the critical and non-critical data. Any thoughts there?
No, first of all, yes, enterprises traditionally, it's not that they're clueless. They do know it. So
Exactly.
traditionally, there are things like resource tag and object tags that people place,
Yep.
right? That they will actually go ahead and leverage that. And then more and more, you have these AI, ML solutions that actually tries to go classify the assets.
Yep.
Whether the asset contains things like PII informations and stuff like that. We see a lot of that happening. So I think it's a combination of the two. Like you have to combine some of the things that you learn from this ML,
Yep.
AI solutions, as well as some of the knowledge that it is in people's head. Because they know what's important and what's not.
Yeah, exactly. I see the the crowd here is getting excited about what you're talking, Woon, because everyone's walking by and wanting to watch you. So which is great. Poojan, I'll let you continue.
And I was going to add on to it. Basically, I think if you think about it, it's also the application at the end of the day, right? So if
Yeah.
we look at the kind of customers that we go after, are folks who are running like customer-facing applications in the cloud. And so
Yep.
that data is customers' data, and they cannot afford to lose it at any cost because of user errors or because of a cyber event or whatever. So that becomes very important in terms of classification. And there's always data that's used for logs and stuff like that. So there, you're like I talked in my talk, like that retention could vary, and you might or might not protect it. But if it's customer-facing data, you absolutely want to protect it.
Yeah, that's fantastic point. Also, cost is one big thing that kind of plays a very important role. I heard it in your talks as well. How does Clumio kind of work around when it's about costing?
Yeah.
Curious.
Again, this is where architecture matters and the brains is
Yep.
right beside you. But basically, I think in the cloud, I think there's a little bit of a mindset shift. Like when we worked on a solution, you have to think about cost from the get-go for,
Yep.
for anything you build.
Yep.
Like because the cloud charges you for every operation.
True.
It charges for a get, for a put, for the storage and everything. So you need to
Exactly.
start thinking like, okay, do I put this object as it is, or should I wait for 10 objects to come together before I put? Just a simple example.
Yeah.
So point I'm saying is the architecture is what dictates at the end of the day the cost. The
Yes.
lambdas, instead of using EC2 instances, that dictates the cost, and so on and so forth. So that's the mindset that we have had from day one, which really allows us to go and ultimately deliver a cost-effective solution.
Yeah.
No, I think you covered it all, Mike. He's the brain. He covered it very well. So essentially, it has to be at the foundational level.
Yeah,
Like, it has
you need to be thinking more like the cloud architects, more like the
Correct.
folks who are kind of using these enterprise leaders as well, right?
Because if you think about it, if the substrate is changing, right, it's no longer the case that you're building an on-prem solution where you're building for this cloud-native way.
Exactly.
And then the substrate is significantly different. You can't be doing the same thing and expect the TCO to work out. So it has to be from the ground up.
Yeah. Any use cases that come to your mind? Anything that you can quickly share with our audience
Like use case for what?
for the cost effectiveness, for the scaling? Any customers that come to mind?
So we have very large customers that
Right.
they're actually protecting their data in S3, for example.
Yep.
Some of the largest customers, they have backups or they have buckets with 60 billions of objects and 30 petabytes of data. So a huge, huge bucket that they're actually protecting it today. And they can actually do that because number one, Clumio is the only one that can actually cope up and scale to that point.
Yep.
And at the same time, because what we just talked about, we actually save them significant amount of TCO.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's a perfect use case. And then, yeah, S3 backup is one thing, but we're really double clicking. We're double clicking and triple clicking, going and supporting and providing similar capabilities for things like DynamoDB, for example. It is
Exactly.
yet another use case.
Yeah, I think those are fantastic insights, Woon. One last question for both of you. If folks want to reach out to you, learn more about the things that you all are doing, which is the best place? LinkedIn, X, where are you all active on?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, awesome. Poojan?
Yeah, LinkedIn from me also. But again, if they are more interested in trying out the platform, just you go to commvault.com/Clumio and you can basically just try it out without even talking to anybody. That's the beauty of the platform, where you can just start using it, and we'll get
You can
the first
learn
2 weeks for free and up to a certain amount, and after that it just shows up in your AWS bill, and that's it. Very simple.
That's fantastic. First of all, thanks both of you for sharing all the great insights and visiting the Ravit Show. We'll keep the conversation going with all the other leaders as well, and definitely looking for 2.0 with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you everyone for joining us today.